What's up, everybody? Justin here. I'm back with a new Wrestlemania Rewind show. Wrestlemania Rewind. Check out my first Wrestlemania Rewind video. It's in the Wrestlemania Rewind playlist where I covered and went over all the matches from WrestleMania 1, 2, and 3. This Wrestlemania Rewind. Again, WrestleMania Rewind, these shows are me going over all the matches and talking a little bit about some of them. And my thoughts on these three WrestleManias I will cover in this WrestleMania Rewind. I will talk about and cover WrestleMania 4, WrestleMania 5, and WrestleMania 6. Hopefully I do not go an hour. But who knows? It's my show. I'll go as long as I want. So, WrestleMania 4. It was a historic WrestleMania, a big WrestleMania. It had a big feel to it because the WWF Championship was on the line for the first time ever in a tournament. I'm a little bit distracted because I'm looking at my cat Benny's ready to jump on top of a midget and start fighting and chasing her. I can see the look in his eyes. He wants to pounce and he's ready to hunt. And sadly, my other cat Midget is his target. Don't do that, Benny. Anyways. So, god damn you, Benny. So WrestleMania 4, it was historic because the title was vacated because Andre won the title in February on the main event. He defeated Hogan in a screw job finish. Hogan got his shoulder up. The ref didn't care, still counted to 3 because the referee was a twin brother of Earl Hebner. Dave Hebner, his twin brother. And it was pretty funny. Either the commentators or Vince McMahon or either Hogan backstage was yelling the guy had plastic surgery just to look like Earl Hebner, I guess. So Andre was champion for like a minute and then gave up the title to the $1 Million Man, and then he was stripped of it. So that's why it's put up in the tournament at WrestleMania 4. It happened. I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but it happened at his hotel and casino. So, it happened on March 27th, 1988. March 27th, 1988. WrestleMania 4 happened the same day, went head-to-head with Clash of the Champions. The first ever Clash of the Champions, which was a really good event. So WrestleMania 4 kicked off. There were a lot of matches. A ton of matches. The event was so big and so long. When they released it on home video, it needed 2 cassettes. 2 video cassettes for the entire event. I believe it was 4 hours. 4 hours long. You had a 20-man over the top rope battle royal. I believe to kick off WrestleMania. And then not only did WrestleMania 4, we got a 20-man battle royal, but we got I believe 16-man tournament. I think 16 guys were in it. We had an Intercontinental title match, tag team title match, and a 6-man tag team match. So much talent, especially in the 80s. The WrestleManias in the 80s, they put on. Vince and WWF put on as much talent as they could. They just threw them. They threw all of them and all their talent under contract on the WrestleMania shows. So the 20-man over the top rope battle royal, Had Sam Houston in it, Ken Patera, Brian Blair, Jumpin' Jim Bronzell, Ray Rougeau, Jacques Rougeau, Hillbilly Jim, the Junkyard Dog, Bad News Brown, Dangerous Danny Davis, George Animal Steel, King Harley Race, Bret the Hitman Hart, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Sika, Outlaw Ron Bass, Paul Roma, Jim Powers, Nikolai Volkov, and Boris Zukov. There's everybody that's in the Battle Royal. It came down to Bret Hart, and Bad News Brown. Bret and Bad News Brown were working together like they were going to share the win or share the trophy. And then Bad News turned on Bret, hit him with the kick in the back of the head, the ghetto blaster, tossed Bret Hart out of the ring. And then Bret was pissed. And Bret Hart was a babyface by now. WrestleMania 4, the Hart Foundation turned babyface. They turned on Jimmy Hart. Or maybe Jimmy Hart turned on them. One or the other. I think Jimmy Hart turned on them and left them during a tag match to get beat down. Anyways, Bad News Brown wins, and Bret Hart, this was pretty awesome, destroyed the trophy, destroyed it, broke it in pieces, and threw it outside of the ring. So up next, we had the kickoff of the 14-man. So 14-man single elimination WWF Championship Tournament. 14-man. You had Hulk Hogan. I think Hogan and Andre had I don't know if they had a bye, but I think they did. I'm not sure. Hogan and Andre were to meet in this tournament. That's a WrestleMania 3 rematch. Could have been a lot better, but it wasn't. And I'll talk about why. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, The Rock, Don Morocco, not The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. Don Morocco was called The Rock before The Rock. If that makes any sense to you, it's true. Dino Bravo, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Greg the Hammer Valentine, Macho Man Randy Savage. What a great showing the Macho Man had. The guy wrestled 4 times and showed everybody, showed every fan why he was a main event player. Or could be a main eventer. Greg the Hammer Valentine, already said that. Butch Reed, Bam Bam Bigelow, One Man Gang, Jake the Snake Roberts, and Ravishing Rick Rude were in the tournament. Up first, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Ted DiBiase went like maybe 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes, I don't know. Crowd was kind of pretty excited, cheering a lot for Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He was a babyface. Of course he was getting cheered. $1 Million Man, the guy was damn good at that character. Really good, and the guy was a really good worker. And Hacksaw, the guy was a pretty damn tough guy. You could dislike him all you want, but the guy was pretty good. I liked Hacksaw's character. Tough guy. Hacksaw Jim Duggan, like him or not, the guy was pretty over. Especially in Mid-South wrestling. So, with the help of Andre the Giant, Trips, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and Virgil is there too. Hacksaw gets distracted. I believe Andre punches him, knocks him out, punches him in the face. Hacksaw falls down. $1 Million Man pins him for the 1, 2, 3. $1 Million Man advances. Next tournament match, Jake the Snake, Ravishing Rick Rude. They wrestled and had a pretty damn good match. I think it went off 15 minutes. Time limit draw. So they were both eliminated from the tournament. Greg the Hammer Valentine took on Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. They had a decent match. It was real short. Could have been a lot better. I don't know why. I still don't understand why Ricky Steamboat did not advance to the second round. It could have been Ricky Steamboat against the Macho Man again. A WrestleMania rematch. It would have been awesome if they could have went 10 minutes at least. But no. I do not get it. Why Ricky Steamboat did not go the second round to put over Macho Man. And it's not Ricky Steamboat's fault. I'm not blaming him. He would have put over the Macho Man gladly. He said it in a shoot interview. He thought, I'm going to go second. When he saw the lineup of the matches, this is what Ricky Steamboat said in his shoot interview. He said, I see I'm facing Greg Valentine. I'm going to go second round. Okay. And I'm going to put over Macho Man because he put me over at WrestleMania 3. Ricky Steamboat had no problem with putting over Macho Man. But it never happened. Shame on WWE or Vince for not liking Ricky Steamboat. I believe he asked for time off. He did ask for time off after WrestleMania so he could see his son be born. And I believe he got the time off. But then Vince, they never let him return. They let him go. They let his contract run out. They didn't bring him back to TV, sadly. The only time I saw him on TV was in June. June of 88 when he lost the Intercontinental title. Or no, that was 87. That was June 87. After WrestleMania 4, Ricky Steamboat was gone. They never let him return. Shame on WWE. Shame on Vince for holding a grudge against Ricky Steamboat just because he wanted time off to see his son, his first son, by the way, be born. His first child be born. Vince held a grudge against him, didn't let him return. Shame on you, Vince. That is really petty and stupid of you, Vince. I mean, Ricky Steamboat should have been on SummerSlam 88. Should have been on Survivor Series 88. He was not. And in January, he left. And he was a free agent. Good for him. He signed with the NWA, WCW. So Greg Valentine defeats Ricky Steamboat. Really stupid, awful, dumbass decision to put over Greg Valentine instead of putting over Ricky Steamboat so we could have Macho Man and Ricky Steamboat clash in the second round. It would have been awesome. That got me fired up. Oh, I still can't believe Ricky Steamboat did not go the second round to put over Macho Man. Shame on you, WWE. Whoever booked that, you're an idiot. So Don Morocco took on Dino Bravo. Very short match. The crowd was dead for this WrestleMania 4. The crowd was not that into it, except for seeing Hogan and Macho Man. That's the only pops the crowd gave for the whole show. They only reacted to seeing Macho Man and Hogan. That's it. Or Hogan and Andre match. They popped for and seeing Macho Man. Everyone else they were really quiet for. A really weak-ass crowd. Probably a bunch of drunk gamblers. And I love to gamble, but I don't get drunk and I don't drink when I'm gambling. They're probably all drunk and gamblers and hungover. So Don Morocco won. Defeated Dino Bravo. A funny part I remember in the match, Don Morocco got his head caught in the top rope and second rope, and his head was stuck. He was hanging from the ropes, and then he flipped himself over. Or maybe that was against Ted DiBiase. Don Morocco got his head stuck in the ropes. That was pretty funny. I will always remember that. I don't think he was choking because the ropes in WWF were not that tight. WCW, NWA, the ropes were really tight. And they were like cables. So other first round matches, Macho Man Randy Savage defeated Butch Reed. And Elizabeth with Macho Man at WrestleMania 4 looked absolutely stunning and gorgeous. She had 4 different dresses on for all 4 matches. So Butch Reed eliminated Bam Bam Bigelow, one-man gang. Ends in a draw or double count out, something like that. Or disqualification. So I think it's double count out. So Bam Bam and one-man gang did not advance to the second round. Neither of them did. I think it was a double count out. So one-man gang. What am I saying? One-man gang won. Now I remember one-man gang won. He went to the second round to face Macho Man, where he would lose. Greg the Hammer Valentine also lost to Macho Man. Might have been the semifinals or second round. Don Morocco lost to Ted DiBiase. Very short match. Very short. Don Morocco, by the way, his manager at the time at WrestleMania 4 was Billy Graham. Superstar Billy Graham. That guy's really got issues now. He's an old man. The guy's really, really, really bitter. Really bitter towards WWE, and shame on him after they put him in the Hall of Fame. You're an ungrateful old bastard, Billy Graham. And I don't wish you pass away. I just wish you would shut the fuck up and stop talking bad about WWE. And now every fan has a right to talk bad about any company they want. But that it does piss me off when former wrestlers that screwed their own careers up and talk bad about WWE when they made a lot of money there. And Vince made them a lot of money, and a lot of them are bitter and turn their back on Vince, turn their back on the company, stab them in the back, and just talk bad about him. When he still takes care of the former wrestlers that worked for Vince, he still takes care of them if they need the help. He pays for their damn rehab. Or I believe WWE will also pay for a former wrestler if they want to go back to school. They'll pay for that too, I think. So then Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant in the second round. The crowd was excited for this. Started off as a brawl. A steel chair got involved. They were fighting over a steel chair. Virgil interfered. Hogan chased Virgil and suplexed him on the floor. That was pretty funny. And then Hogan is counted out. I believe it's double disqualification. The WrestleMania 3 main event was a double disqualification. Hogan and Andre Part 2. Hogan and Andre, by the way, worked together many times before WrestleMania 3. They worked together in 1980 at Shea Stadium, and they worked together all over the country a lot. And they teamed up in 84, 85, 86. They teamed up a lot. So Hogan and Andre ends in a double disqualification. It was disappointing because it could have been a lot better. Could have went at least 10 minutes. And what I thought was funny after is a double disqualification after it. Hogan gets in the ring and picks up Andre and body slams him. That was pretty awesome. Anyways, then Hogan celebrates and poses like he won. But he was eliminated. But the fans came there. They wanted to see Hogan pose. And they were cheering for when he's posing. So now let's go to the finals. Ted DiBiase defeated Don Morocco, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and got a bye to the finals. Macho Man was an Iron Man. Macho Man Randy Savage at WrestleMania 4 showed Vince and showed the company, showed the fans. The fans already knew it, but showed everybody, I am a main eventer. and I deserve to be world champion. And Macho Man was a great world champion. He was a really good world champion. He was a fighting champion. Defended it just about every month in Boston Gardens, defended it in Madison Square Garden, defended it in LA, defended a lot of places. So, anyways, Macho Man, Ted DiBiase, the finals. Andre the Giant was in the corner of Ted DiBiase with Virgil. Miss Elizabeth was at ringside, but she wanted to go get help from Macho Man's Mega Powers partner. Elizabeth comes out, brings out Hogan. Crowd's excited to see Hogan, and I was excited to see him because they were the Mega Powers. Hogan was just watching Macho Man's back. I don't buy it that he was there stealing Macho Man's spotlight. Macho Man had the spotlight. The guy won the title in the main event. He was a champion. WrestleMania 4 ended with Macho Man celebrating, picking up Elizabeth. I don't mind that Hogan was there. I don't think he hogged the spotlight, but some do. Probably a lot of fans do. But maybe I'm biased because I was always a Hogan fan. I was a Macho Man fan too, but Hogan was always my favorite over Macho Man. I will admit that. But I didn't see a problem with Hogan being in Macho Man's corner. It made a lot of sense because they were the Mega Powers. They were still the Mega Powers until the end of '88. Until they broke up in January or February '89. They broke up. I'll talk about that when I talk about WrestleMania 5. So Macho Man becomes WWF champion. Wrestled 4 times. It was great. WrestleMania 4, in my opinion, was good. It's not one of the worst of all time. I enjoyed it. Macho Man became champion. We had a tournament. We had a battle royal. What else do you want out of a WrestleMania? I thought it was good. Some of the matches nobody cared about. I didn't care about some of them. And the fans were absolutely dead. Probably all drunk and hungover. Anyways, other matches at WrestleMania 4 for the Intercontinental title that I didn't give a rat's ass about. Nobody did. Honky Tonk Man. The longest reigning Intercontinental champion of all time. I think he still is. Who knows? Who cares? Honky Tonk Man managed by somebody that's a lot more talented than him. Jimmy Hart. The great Jimmy Hart. And I say the great Jimmy Hart because the guy did a lot more than just manage. The guy wrote WWE theme songs. He wrote Sexy Boy for Shawn Michaels. He wrote Demolition's theme and a few others. Probably a lot of others. He wrote Jimmy Hart, if you didn't know this, fun fact, he wrote the NWO Wolfpack theme. Wolfpack theme song is wrote by Jimmy Hart. So, Honky Tonk Man, Bruce the Barber Beefcake gets a title shot. Why? And the guy was in line, reportedly, he was in line to win the Intercontinental title. Why? I ask why because I didn't want to see him as Intercontinental champ. I thought Brutus the Barber Beefcake sucked. He was not as bad as some, like David Sammartino and others, but I didn't like Brutus the Barber Beefcake. As a kid, I did, but so what? It ends in a, I believe, disqualification or something. Brutus gets disqualified. I don't remember, and I don't care. I believe Brutus put Honky Tonk Man asleep or something, and it was dumb. Tag team titles. This was good. This was a really good tag match for the tag titles. Strike Force defending against Demolition. Demolition wins. Demolition's first WrestleMania. Tito Santana, Rick Martel as Strikeforce, their first WrestleMania together. Demolition wins the tag titles. Demolition was with Mr. Fuji. It was awesome. It was great. I loved Demolition as a team, especially as a kid, and I still love them. Even though they are wrong for trying to sue Vince over their concussion lawsuit. I doubt they suffered many concussions when they worked for Vince, because they didn't have to take that many bumps and high-risk maneuvers. They didn't get dropped on their head much. They didn't get hit with chairs in the head. Unprotected chair shots did not happen to a lot of those guys that tried to sue Vince in their lawsuit. That they suffered head injuries and that they were suffering every day. Which I doubt a lot of them were suffering from working for Vince. Some of those guys that sued Vince, I don't know if the lawsuit is still going on, but a lot of those guys had no business suing Vince because they barely worked for him. They worked for Vince in WWF like 1 to 2, 3 years maybe. And one of the guys, what's his name? God, I can't remember his name. Billy Jack Haynes. That guy was working in WWF for only like a couple months. He had no business suing Vince. So Demolition becomes new tag champs. That was great. 6-man tag, British Bulldogs, Coco Beware against the Islanders, and Bobby the Brain Heenan was in the match too. Funny as hell, because Bobby Heenan had a dog-proof suit on, protective dog suit. So Matilda, the Bulldog of the British Bulldogs, manager or mascot. So Matilda couldn't attack him. It was damn funny at the end of the match. And it made sense, this 6-man tag, because they had a storyline building up to it. Where Bobby Heenan and the Islanders stole Matilda. And she was missing up until WrestleMania 4. Bobby Heenan runs down the aisle. Just hilarious. And Matilda runs, or Davey Boy was holding Matilda on a leash, and then Matilda chase Bobby Heenan and attack him. That was damn funny. So the other match was a grudge match. Nobody cared about. Ultimate Warrior against Hercules. Hercules was so much better than the Warrior. He had to carry Warrior. Warrior barely got a pop when he came out. He got a much better pop at SummerSlam 88, but not at WrestleMania 4. Nobody cared about the Warrior. Hercules, Warrior, like they're feuding, building up to their match. Feuding over, I guess, who was the strongest. On an episode of Superstars, the Warrior broke. Hercules was choking with his chain. Warrior broke the chain, started swinging it around like an idiot. Probably could have hit one of the fans with it. So anyways, I don't know how it ended. I think double disqualification or something. That was WrestleMania 4. A good WrestleMania, but to me, I think it was better than 3 a little bit, but 3 was better because of Steamboat Savage and Hogan Andre. I would say my favorite is 3 over 4, but 4 was not bad. It just went too long, had too many matches. The crowd fell asleep. Probably a lot of fans fell asleep watching. Not when Macho Man won the title. Hopefully everybody's awake for that. WrestleMania 5. This is my WrestleMania Rewind show where I am covering, in this episode, WrestleMania 4, 5, and 6. WrestleMania 5 had a lot of damn matches that nobody cared about. WWF in the 80s threw everybody they had under contract. They put them on the show and put them on WrestleManias just because they're part of the roster. WrestleMania 5 was not very good, except for the main event and the Intercontinental title match. That's it. That's all I cared about. That's all I thought was good. So, you got a Piper's Pit with Rowdy Piper returning. He got a good pop. His guests were Brother Love, Martin Downey Jr. I thought it was funny. I thought it was entertaining because Martin Downey Jr. kept blowing his cigarette smoke in Piper's face and it kept pissing off Piper. And he snapped and goes, "I told you. This will be the last time I'm going to tell you quit blowing your smoke in my face." He did it again, said, "Watch this." Started blowing smoke rings and blew it in his face. Piper got a fire extinguisher out, said, "Give me one of those smokes." He turns around, he sprays them. That was awesome. Martin Downey Jr. is a loudmouth talk show host. Like, the guy had a crazy talk show. Guy's a loudmouth. All his guests, he let on and basically humiliate them and yell at them, I believe, and tell them to shut up, and the guy be smoking during his talk show. He was kind of like Jerry Springer before Jerry Springer, I guess. Martin Downey, whatever, what the hell is his name? Martin Downey. Not Robert Downey Jr. That guy's a great actor. That guy is Iron Man and will always be Iron Man to me. So, I lost, what was his name? Morton Downey Jr. Guy's a loudmouth. Kind of is like the Jerry Springer show, but dumber. At least Jerry Springer had some brains and knew how to host a talk show. Morton Downey Jr. is just an idiot. And the guy is rude as hell to all his guests, or made fun of them all. But a lot of people liked him in the 80s. I was too young. I did not watch his show. So then you had Hercules. This might have been the first match of the show. I'm not sure. Hercules was a babyface at this time. Took on King Haku, who defeated King Hacksaw Jim Duggan for the crown of King of WWF. Haku was managed by Bobby Heenan. He was part of the Heenan family. I don't remember who won. Might have been a disqualification or I don't remember. Who cares, really? I like King Haku. The guy's tough as hell. The guy could still beat me up. Even if he's 60s or 70s. He could still kick ass, I'm sure. Haku, one of the toughest, scariest guys in wrestling, in my opinion. He's probably nice in real life, but I would never, ever, ever piss him off. So then after Hercules, King Haku, you had, let's count how many matches WrestleMania 5 had. You had 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 matches. Too many again. That's what WWF did in the 80s. Every WrestleMania had a ton of matches. They wanted the whole roster on the card. King Haku, Hercules. I like King Haku, but I didn't care about the match. What was next? Not Macho Man. Ted DiBiase against $1 Million Man against Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I don't know how it ended. Might have been a count out or DQ. Who cares? I didn't care. The Rockers. This was good. This was entertaining and a good tag match. The Rockers took on the Twin Towers. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. Twin Towers win. Bushwhackers, Fabulous Rougeau Brothers. I didn't care for it. It was boring to me. Blue Blazer, Mr. Perfect. I'm sure it's okay, but it was really short. Blue Blazer, a.k.a. Owen Hart, great worker. Really good worker, but Mr. Perfect basically squashed him. What was next? By the way, these matches are probably not in order as I'm talking about them. Rugged Ronnie Garvin, who was a big star in the NWA, and WWF treated him like shit. In my opinion, he should have got a bigger push. I always liked Ronnie Garvin. Ronnie Garvin took on Dino Bravo and probably lost. I think he lost. Sadly, former NWA World Champion Ronnie Garvin probably lost to Dino Bravo. Nothing against Dino Bravo. Guy's a tough guy, but he shouldn't have been selling illegal cigarettes and got involved with the mafia in Montreal because they murdered you. Sadly, I think they murdered you. Somebody murdered Dino Bravo. And it's been speculated ever since he was killed and murdered and shot up in his apartment. It's been rumored that he's killed by mafia because he owed them a ton of money or something. I don't know. Or he's trying to sell illegal cigarettes and they were trying to control that business or something like that. Sad. That's very sad. If Dino Bravo had children, I don't know. But that is sad that the guy was murdered like that. So Strikeforce took on the Brain Busters. This was good too. Rick Martel left. Tito Santana and turned heel. That was pretty awesome. Brain Busters win. Up next, you had Hart Foundation against Greg the Hammer Valentine and Honky Tonk. Man, I did not care about this match. I don't think anybody did. It's cool to see the Hart Foundation on a WrestleMania, but I didn't care for the match. I thought it was boring. Poor Brett and Jim the Anvil Neidhart deserved a better team to face than Honky and Greg Valentine. Because they were a boring team. I'm sorry, they were really boring. Hacksaw Jim Duggan took on Bad News Brown again. I didn't care. Another match I didn't care about. I thought it was boring. I like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, but it was boring. Red Rooster took on Bobby the Brain Heenan. They had a long build up to this match because Bobby Heenan turned on Red Rooster Terry Taylor on Primetime Wrestling and had the Brooklyn Brawler beat the shit out of him. That was pretty awesome. Red Rooster, god awful gimmick, and that's pretty damn funny. I think that Vince gave him that gimmick and made him do it. I didn't like Terry Taylor as a wrestler. The guy was good worker in Mid-South, but I didn't care for him. Red Rooster, I think, defeated Bobby Heenan really quick. That is weird. That Bobby Heenan was wrestling at WrestleMania 4 and 5. That's kind of weird. Tag team titles in a handicap match. Demolition defended against Mr. Fuji and the Powers of Pain. This was decent, I guess. Demolition should have won a lot quicker. And Demolition wins and retains. Jake the Snake Roberts against Andre the Giant. They had a build-up of where Jake the Snake threw his snake on Andre. On an episode of Saturday Night's Main Event, Andre fell down like he had a heart attack. Like he passed out because he was afraid of snakes. This match was not good. Jake the Snake Andre was not very good. Very slow match and got pretty boring. Nothing against Andre and Jake the Snake, but it was a boring match. The guest referee was Big John Studd. And Big John Studd just won Royal Rumble 89. Why couldn't he have a match at WrestleMania 5? I don't know. Maybe he was getting sick already. I don't know why he couldn't be on the card. Maybe he knew his career was over, so Vince gave him a spot as guest ref. Intercontinental title, this was good and entertaining. Not because of Warrior, because Rick Rude was in it, and Rick Rude could carry anybody to a good match. Rick Rude challenging Ultimate Warrior for the Intercontinental title. Rick Rude managed by Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan holds the foot of the Warrior. Rick Rude wins the Intercontinental title. That was great. That was awesome. But then he lost at SummerSlam 89. That was weak and stupid. He should have a longer title reign. Main event, Hulk Hogan challenging Macho Man Randy Savage. The build-up was great. The Mega Powers exploded, I believe in February, on an episode of Main Event from my hometown, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Mega Powers took on the Twin Towers. I was actually there. I was there, live. I was 5 years old at the time. Sadly, Macho Man gets thrown out of the ring on top of Miss Elizabeth, and she took a nasty fall. Very glad she didn't break any bones from that, because it looked like it hurt. And she had like a 220-pound guy land on her, fall on her. Anyways, Macho Man leaves Hogan, leaves him alone. I believe he slapped him in the face on the apron, left him. Hogan was upset after the match. He carried Elizabeth. He carried her in his arms in the back, put her down on a doctor's table backstage, and Hogan then picked up Elizabeth's hand, was praying, please, please make her be okay, and wake up or something. And then Macho Man, I believe it's been explained by Bruce Pritchard and others that Macho Man got really pissed at Hogan backstage when he was holding Elizabeth's hand just because Hogan's arm or hand touched her breasts. Macho Man saw that, and I guess the guy exploded. I don't know if it's true, but he exploded, got really pissed at Hogan. Or maybe he didn't get pissed. Maybe he's working everybody because he's in character and wanted to make everybody think that he wanted to kill Hogan for real. I don't know. To build up the match, to get people to pay to see it. So he attacks Hogan backstage, takes him out with the title, has Hogan punch him in the face on the floor. Miss Elizabeth is screaming, Randy, stop it, stuff like that. So the main event, it was a great match. Great main event. Hogan, Macho Man, especially in the 80s, always had great matches. Really good matches. Really entertaining matches. For damn sure, in the 80s, they had their best matches. Not in 1998 when they worked, or 96. They shouldn't have been working together, but whatever. Hulk Hogan wins. Really good main event to end WrestleMania 5. Hogan wins the title back. Got a huge pop for winning. Huge reaction. He posed with the title. WrestleMania 5 goes off the air. WrestleMania 5 only had 3 matches that are worth watching. Demolition's match, Rick Rude and Ultimate Warrior, and the main event is only worth checking out, in my opinion. All the other matches are just throwaway, nothing matches that could have been on a Saturday night's main event. Now let's go to WrestleMania 6. By the way, WrestleMania 5, the main event was great, but it was not better than 4, in my opinion. And the crowd, again, it was at the Hotel and Casino. April 2nd, 1989, the crowd again was dead and not a good crowd, not a good fan base. I'm sure they were fans. Some of them were legit, real fans of WWF. But it's a weak-ass crowd. WrestleMania 6, a lot better of a crowd. Great reactions. The crowd was on fire. The crowd was excited to be there. Real, true wrestling fans live in Toronto, Canada. They came out in force at WrestleMania 6. They came out in force at WrestleMania 18. Canada has some great, hardcore, passionate WWE fans. Not saying the United States doesn't. Of course, United States does. Philly, New York, Chicago, a lot of hot crowds are in the United States, but Canada has a lot of hot crowds too. So, anyways, WrestleMania 6 happened. Toronto Skydome. In front of, I believe, like 65 or 67,000. A lot of fans were there. One of the fans in the crowd was Edge. Yes, future rated R superstar Edge was in the crowd. That's pretty cool. Happened April 1st, 1990. WrestleMania 6. The look of the Skydome was great. The lighting, the setup, the production was fantastic. First class production. WrestleMania 4 and 5 had great production too, but 6 looked really great. The lighting and everything. So up first you had Coco Beware take on Model Rick Martel. Model Rick Martel, great gimmick. The guy is a fantastic worker also. Rick Martel defeats Coco Beware, I believe, with the Boston Crab. Crowd was even fired up for Coco Beware in his entrance. They were hyped because it was the first match of the card. Then you had Rhythm and Blues later on sing and perform Honka Honka Honky Love. God, that was a bad idea. I don't know whose idea it was, but it was stupid as hell. At least we didn't have to see Honky Tonk Man wrestle, so that was good that he didn't get a spot on the card to wrestle. And it was just a stupid ass idea. Rhythm and Blues. Greg Valentine had dyed his hair black. It was dumb. He had 2 bad Elvis impersonators as a tag team. I don't like Greg Valentine, never have, but the guy's a lot better of a worker than Honky Tonk. Honky Tonk Man was 100% gimmick. That's all he ever was. He was over as a heel. Fans hated him, but the guy was no good in the ring. He did have good matches with Macho Man, and that's it. Because Macho Man probably carried him to have a good match. Because Macho Man was so damn good. So then you had other matches, a lot of matches. Probably 13 or 12 on this card. Let's count them up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 matches again at WrestleMania. At least WrestleMania 7 would have. They had a lot of matches, but the show didn't feel like it dragged on. And WrestleMania 6 is a damn long show to watch. I don't know if it's under 3 hours, but it feels like a really long show to watch if you ever watch the whole show. Other matches, Tito Santana took on the Barbarian. Barbarian, I thought, was a great heel. Had a great look. The guy should have got a bigger push as a heel, in my opinion. Tito Santana, great worker. I always liked him. Barbarian wins, and he was managed by Bobby the Brain Heenan. Jimmy Superfly Snuka took on Rick Rude. I believe Rick Rude won. I hope he did. I think he did. Hacksaw Jim Duggan took on Dino Bravo. Dino Bravo managed by Jimmy Hart. I didn't care for the match. What was good was Earthquake crushed and sat on Hacksaw. That was pretty cool. And then Hacksaw was spitting up blood. Brutus the Barber Beefcake took on Mr. Perfect, and for some reason, Toronto, Canada liked Brutus Beefcake and really cheered for him and gave him a good pop. Brutus Beefcake, Mr. Perfect might have ended in a DQ, I don't know. Hercules took on Earthquake, and I believe he lost. He got crushed. He got sat on. He felt the earthquake. He might spit up blood too. The Rockers, this was pretty good, but it was short. Rockers took on the Orient Express. It was good, but it was short. Marty Jannetty got salt thrown in his eyes, was walking around the ring really selling that he was blind, and he flipped over the barricade. Walked into the barricade and flipped over it. That was pretty funny. Rockers, Orient Express, I forgot who won. Who cares? But it was a good tag match. Big Boss Man took on his former longtime partner, Akeem, the African Dream. You don't think that was a rib against Dusty Rhodes? Obviously it was, because they called him the African Dream, Akeem. And Vince, you were stupid for trying to make fun of Dusty Rhodes by having Akeem do this and dance. Dusty Rhodes was not a joke. His gimmick was not a fool, stupid gimmick. Dusty Rhodes is an all-time great, and shame on you, Vince, for creating Akeem the African Dream. Even though I thought the gimmick was great and funny, and One Man Gang did the Akeem character pretty damn well. Akeem Big Boss Man ended really quick. Big Boss Man, I believe, defeated him. Then Big Boss Man was still at ringside, and Ted DiBiase, I believe, attacks him. Ted DiBiase attacks the Big Boss Man. This was for the $1 million belt. $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase defeated, or I think it ended in a DQ. I don't think there was a winner. Virgil took the $1 million title, ran away. Jake the Snake DDT'd. $1 Million Man, that got a big pop, and then started giving out his money and gave a $100 bill to Mary Tyler Moore. Like she needed it. I don't think she did. Rest in peace, Mary Tyler Moore. Her show, she had a damn good show, Mary Tyler Moore Show. And I thought was damn attractive, Mary Tyler Moore. I wasn't around when her show was on, but looking back on how she looked, she was damn attractive. And she was damn funny, too. Mixed tag match. The first ever mixed tag match at a WrestleMania. The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes and Sapphire, took on the Macho King, Randy Savage, and Queen Sherry. Queen Sherry looked great. Sensational Sherry looked damn great. Elegant, classy. Macho King looked great. The Dusty Rhodes was in his polka dots, and Vince gave him Sapphire probably as a joke or as a rib. She had no experience in wrestling, but she got over. She got herself over, and Dusty got her over. Mostly, I think Dusty got over Sapphire, but good for Sapphire. Rest in peace, Dusty. Rest in peace, Macho Man. Rest in peace, Sapphire. Rest in peace, sensational Sherry Martel, and rest in peace, Elizabeth. All of them were a part of this match. Elizabeth came out, I believe, interfered and pulled Sherry off the apron or something. And then Elizabeth danced with Sapphire and Dusty Rhodes. Everybody involved in this mixed tag is no longer with us. That is really sad. Up next, Demolition took on the Colossal Connection from the Heenan family, Haku and Andre the Giant, and the tag champs. Many probably don't remember or don't know or forget about it. Andre the Giant was actually a tag team champion. Andre and Haku lose to Demolition. Demolition wins, becomes a first ever 3-time tag team champions. The Toronto Sky Dome exploded. Huge pop for Demolition winning the titles. After it, Bobby Heenan snapped, started slapping Andre, say, "You listen to me, you're nothing without me," stuff like that. Andre got slapped, and he woke up. That slap woke him up. He was pissed. He grabbed Bobby Heenan, slapped him across the face, did a backhand, and he looked like he totally missed Bobby Heenan, but so what? And then went outside the ring. Andre punched Bobby Heenan and punched and pushed Haku out of the wrestling cart to go be driven to backstage. And then Andre went in the cart, the boss, went in the cart all by himself. Andre got a standing ovation because everybody respected Andre. Heel or babyface, Andre, in my opinion, was respected by the fans. At least I respected him. I didn't like him, but I respected him. And I'm saying as a kid, I didn't like Andre. Now, as an adult, I love what Andre did. And I thought Andre was great. WrestleMania 6 main event. Hulk Hogan, the WWF champion, taking on the Ultimate Warrior, the Intercontinental champion. Great build-up. It was champion versus champion for the first time at a WrestleMania. Both titles were on the line. And my God, they had a great match. Hogan, I'm not sorry. Hogan carried Warrior. If it wasn't for Hogan carrying Warrior, putting him over, make him look strong, make him look like a main eventer, make him look like $1 million. Hogan is the reason the match was great, in my opinion. Warrior did not do bad. He had the best match, one of the best matches of his career against Hogan at WrestleMania 6. But Warrior worked better with this guy right here. Warrior and Macho Man had a great match at WrestleMania 7. But Hogan got a really good match out of Warrior. Warrior wins, and I still don't agree. I still think Hogan should have won. As a kid, 6-year-old kid watching the pay-per-view live at my brother's friend's house at the time, because my brother and his friend were really into WWF. And I was like 4 years younger than them. So I got to see the pay-per-view live as a 6-year-old. And when Hogan lost, I cried. I was upset. I was pissed. I did not think Warrior should have won. And I was upset about it. Yeah, I didn't understand wrestling that it was predetermined. I didn't know that at age 6. Probably found out at age 7. I don't remember when. But I know now, and I still don't give a rat's ass. It's the best entertainment in the world is professional wrestling and WWE. I could care less if it's predetermined. So are movies. And we all enjoy movies, don't we? I know I do. Anyways, Hogan jobbing the Warrior, putting him over, passing the torch to Warrior. And he failed, by the way, as champion. Business went down. I'm sure it did. Hogan as champion is a lot better and would have made the company more money, but Vince decided Hogan's taking time off, I guess, to go shoot more movies and go to Hollywood. So Vince thought I needed to create a new star, a new top babyface. And Vince thought the Warrior was the guy. And Hogan probably thought the Warrior is the guy too, and a great pick to put over. And Hogan put him over clean. It was a great main event, great match. The crowd was on fire throughout the whole match. I gotta watch Hogan and Warrior again. I'm gonna watch it again before WrestleMania 35. Anyways, WrestleMania 6 had too many matches, but Hogan and Warrior was great. Also, Roddy Piper painted himself half black and he's half white against Bad News Brown. You cannot do that today. What Roddy Piper did. The guy had no fear in him and would do anything he wanted. In 1990, the crowd, there wasn't a big, there was no social media, obviously. There was no big outcry that Roddy Piper should be fired because of what he did. Now, what he did, looking back on it, it probably was wrong, but Piper didn't have any racist feelings. The guy probably was doing it probably to be funny or piss off Bad News Brown. I don't know. He did it probably for the match and for the gimmick. That's why he did it. I don't believe Piper was racist for doing it. I really doubt it. And there's no proof from any wrestlers or anybody that Piper was ever racist. At least I don't think so. He did use some racial comments against Mr. T and talking about how Mr. T was holding black people down, like, well, because he said, why is he wearing all those chains? That was damn controversial. Roddy Piper said it. Back on an episode of Tuesday Night Titans, I believe 85 or 86, maybe 84. Piper just said whatever the hell he wanted. He didn't care if Vince would get upset. So Roddy Piper and Bad News Brown, I don't know how it ended. I don't. Might have been a DQ or a double count out, who knows, or double disqualification. So that was WrestleMania 6. WrestleMania 6 was a lot better than WrestleMania 5 and looked better and probably had a better main event than WrestleMania 4. Again, WrestleMania 5, I liked it. I enjoyed it. Really good show, but had too many matches. The only matches I cared for was the main event, Hogan Warrior, Demolition winning. I liked that tag match. Jake the Snake, Ted DiBiase was good, but it was too short. Should have been given more time. Also, the Rockers and Orient Express had a good match. Also, I didn't mention the shortest match, one of the shortest in WrestleMania history. Hart Foundation defeated the Bolsheviks in like 8 or 9 seconds. That was hilarious, I thought. They're singing the Russian national anthem. They got closed on, attacked from behind. Heart attack, 1, 2, 3. That was hilarious. Anyways, this ends my WrestleMania Rewind. I covered 3 WrestleManias. That's why this show is long. I don't apologize for this show being long because I covered and went over WrestleMania 4, 5, and 6. Hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed talking about these 3 WrestleManias. Bye for now.